Hey guys, what's up? James from Embark, and today I wanted to talk about why Bitcoin is unstoppable. Bitcoin is unstoppable due to its very nature, and despite governments trying to ban it, they're having a hard time doing so, and there's a few reasons technically and sort of societally why that's been an issue for them, and they've struggled to control the growth and spread of cryptocurrencies in general. Since the earliest days of Bitcoin, there's always been furor, fear, uncertainty and doubt about governments all across the world banning Bitcoin. You know, it's going to be banned and therefore it's going to be worthless, and anything you've invested in that is going to go to nothing. For one thing, Bitcoin is often cited as being a threat to traditional monetary systems, with the potential to undermine the control of central banks and the money supply. Now, some people think this is a conspiracy theory, it's just BS, like governments aren't really that fussed about these things. They're not worried about control being taken away from them and taking away from the fact that they can't then print money whenever they want, create massive inflation and quantitative easing whenever they want. But all you have to do is go and take a look at the coverage that happened on the news when Facebook decided that they were going to create their own digital currency, Libra. And they've done a rebrand now to DM, so you might have to Google that instead. Mark Zuckerberg actually had to go and speak directly to Congress and answer their questions. That's how fearful they were of this new digital currency. You know, they are concerned that it's going to influence and create issues with their control on inflation and quantitative easing. And not only this, but another argument, and one that's completely unfounded, is that Bitcoin is only ever used by criminals, drug dealers, drug traffickers, child traffickers, money launderers, things like that. However, the evidence for this is pretty non-existent, and the people using cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin for normal legal reasons far outweighs any criminal activity that might be going on. Now, I'm not saying that it's not there, I'm just saying it's not to any kind of level that the media and the government will lead you to believe. And realistically, it's a bad point from government anyway. You know, the amount of money laundering and drug trafficking and issues like that that go through central banks and traditional banks anyway is far, far more money than anything that's ever gone through crypto. Just like, all you have to do is give it a Google, and a bank that you know of and you've heard of within the past couple of years would have been fined for money laundering issues. You know, I'll chuck some up on the screen now. All it took was a little Google. You know, I know in the back of my head that there's just been plenty of times, but a quick Google search shows that NatWest was caught at the beginning of October, £340 million of fines because they just weren't doing what they were supposed to do with regards to money laundering. And that is a majority owned public company. You know, they were bailed out by the government in the 2008 financial crash. So 55% of that company was paid for with taxpayers' money. And now they're just not doing anything with regards to money laundering. They just let it go on, you know, and government and the media will just lie to you and say that cryptocurrency is just a cesspool of fugitives and drug traffickers and child molesters just using it. And yet massive banks have these issues all the time, and it's just put under the rug. You know, genuinely just go and have a Google and you'll see what's going on. Now, whether it's possible for governments to ban Bitcoin is going to vary from region to region. Currently, Bitcoin is legal in the United States, the SEC having stated that it's not a security, and the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission declared in 2015 that it's a commodity like gold and therefore is subject to its regulations. Furthermore, in 2013, the US Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, issued guidelines stating that it's legal to invest in Bitcoin and to use it as a form of payment as long as the seller or of the goods or services is willing to accept it. Now, because of the patchwork of state and federal laws in the US, the exact regulations on Bitcoin do differ from state to state, so that's something that you'll want to research yourself. For example, in Hawaii, businesses relating to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are required to apply for a money transmitter license, while Wyoming has granted digital currencies the same legal status as money. Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman, has come out and said in no uncertain terms that Bitcoin is a speculative asset and that cryptocurrencies just facilitate crime and do not count as money. And even Senator Elizabeth Warren has come out and said that cryptocurrencies put the financial system at the whims of some shadowy, faceless group of supercoders and miners. And realistically, these are just a few left of the old guard that are just trying to keep power where they can. The world is evolving with or without them, and the amount of development in crypto can't be ignored or forgotten. And if so, it would be a massive detriment to the country that puts these laws in place. Bitcoin is too deeply entrenched in the US financial system, both culturally and technologically, to ban. Marshall Hayner, CEO of MetalPay, told Decrypt. It would mean closing down institutions overseeing billions of dollars of assets, shedding tens of thousands of jobs, sending innovation overseas and fueling a black market for Bitcoin. Although it's clear that it's quite possible that a country could put in some sort of edict or law that can ban cryptocurrencies, actually physically banning them is just something that can't be done unless the government exerts strict control over the internet. Individuals would almost certainly be able to download Bitcoin wallet software, run a node, and complete transactions with little effort. And that's what I mean when I say technically it can't be banned, it can't be stopped. Sure, you can try to ban it, but the only way to do that is to literally stop the internet. Like, you'd have to shut down the internet in your country in order to do it, and obviously that's just not going to happen because that would cripple any economy beyond repair. So yes, there's one way to do it, but that one way is just not feasible whatsoever. So it's just not going to be banned. So realistically, you should just ignore any FUD about governments banning cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin. It's just not going to happen. They can try, but they would not be successful. And Naval Ravikant has a great comparison for this. Despite how stringent the copyright laws are for music and movies in the US, at any one time, torrent websites where you can go and download music and films from a distributed network of nodes or computers accounted for 50% of global bandwidth for file sharing, and in 2009 accounted for almost approximately 43 to 70% of all internet traffic. The DMCA is very stringent on copyright laws, but when it comes to torrent files, it can't stop them. And there's still a significant number of Bitcoin users in countries where it's been banned. According to a 2019 report by We Are Social, around 4% of internet users in Egypt currently own cryptocurrencies, while cryptocurrency market tracking platform CoinMarketCap listed Pakistan as one of its fastest growing user demographics in Q1 2020, despite it being banned. This is the same in Nigeria. According to the trading platform Paxful, Nigeria is now second only to the US for Bitcoin trading. The dollar volume of crypto received by users in Nigeria in May was up $2.4 billion, up from $684 million last December, according to blockchain research firm Chain Analysis. And the true scale of the crypto flowing through Africa is probably it's probably significantly larger than what we know from this research, because of so many trades being untraceable by analysts. And for me, there seems to be this correlation between governments that decide they want to try and ban Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and ones that have absolute horrific inflation that is crippling their country and destroying their economy. And this is the public in those countries fighting for that last little bit of financial control before the country collapses. And El Salvador actually went the other way, in fact. The South American country made dollars the legal tender in 2001, and that helped reduce the country's inflation. The yearly inflation dropped from 10% down to 3% in 2012, and by 2015 it was basically 0%. However, the current president isn't stupid, and he saw the amount of money that America has printed in the past 2 years. More has been printed in the past 2 years than the entire history of the US. So he made Bitcoin legal tender alongside the US dollar. It came into law September this year and makes taxes payable in Bitcoin and obliges all businesses to accept it. The country has built a network of 200 Bitcoin ATMs and a digital Bitcoin wallet app called Chivo, through which it's distributed $30 of Bitcoin to every Salvadorian citizen in a bid to kickstart its Bitcoin economy. And according to this tweet from Joe Pompliano, El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender 54 days ago. More citizens now have Bitcoin wallets than traditional bank accounts, and for the first time in their life, they have seen their purchasing power appreciate by more than 30%. And according to the president himself, over 2.1 million citizens have used Chivo so far in a population of only 6 million. So over a third have already used the Bitcoin wallet that they created for the citizens. So not only can Bitcoin not be stopped technically, it shouldn't be stopped anyway. It genuinely is a deflationary currency that is truly decentralized. And any governments that try and stop productivity and innovation around blockchain technology, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies, they're going to suffer economically, whilst other countries that truly adopt Bitcoin and blockchain technology will thrive. So that's it from me, guys. Why Bitcoin and crypto can't be stopped. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please leave a like below and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We've got new videos coming out every single week. I've been James from Embark, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.